The Dempster Highway number 8 is closed due to inclement and Fort McPherson due to high winds, blowing snow and zero visibility.
Wasn't expecting that.
The highway is open and it's zero.
We're going to be here for a while.
The be over right across the Yukon.
Overland's solo series is presented by General Tire and the Grabber ATX, the official tire of the Arctic series, available at TireRack.com. And in association with Patriot Campers and P-Course Systems. The North. Its winters are feared by many, but so much of its beauty lies in those cold and somber months. The Dawson City poet Robert Service once wrote, "Yet somehow life's not what I thought it, and somehow the gold isn't all. No, there's the land. Have you seen it? It's the cussedest land that I know. From the big, dizzy mountains that screen it to the deep, death-like valleys below. Some say God was tired when he made it. Some say it's a fine land to shun. Maybe. But there's some as would trade it for no land on earth, and I am one."
We've got a couple long driving days ahead of us, getting from Whitehorse to Dawson City to Inuvik. Since we're going to be spending a lot of time in those Tacoma seats, we figured it was a good time to use the community center here in Whitehorse, have a quick workout, coveted shower, and I'm also going to top up on a little bit of water here while we're at it. And then we head north. We are in Whitehorse, the last big town before we head north. So we're filling up all our fuel tanks. We have 33 gallons here in the long range tank and a couple of 5-gallon Jerry's up top, which will be full of 87 octane, looks like. We'll also grab 5 gallons of diesel just in case, so we can keep this thing nice and toasty inside. Even though there are gas stations, doesn't mean they're open. A lot are closed for the season, a lot are just closing early in the day, so best to be safe.
It's common to think that there will be no supplies in a lot of these further towns of the world. But we find over and over again that if there are folks living there, they work hard to provide the best variety possible, just like your hometown.
Berries.
I like berries.
I don't know why, but Whitehorse has amazing berries in the winter. I don't know where they're sourced. Legit.
So we successfully completed all of our tasks in Whitehorse.
Yes.
And it's nice and early.
Ow.
That's the worst high five ever. That's still...
That hurt.
Okay, let's try it again. We can do it.
Yeah.
That's good enough. So we're fit,
Water.
clean, fed, watered, hydrated, fueled up, and ready to roll. So here we go. Let's go to Dawson City.
Let's do it.
When was the last time you were there?
Never.
Exactly, me too. It's all new now. Now it feels like this trip has really begun.
Now into March, the Earth tilt has already allowed the North to have longer days than those in the South. It's often thought that the Arctic winters are very long and dark. That's true, but for a short period of time between November and January. Beyond that, the daylight can increase by as much as 15 minutes a day, and by the summer solstice in June, the sun will not set.
Here's how to greet someone and say thank you in all 11 official languages of the Northwest Territories. Chippewan, inclement,
Planet,
inclement, Thank you is Marcy.
Merci.
Marcy.
Merci.
Cree. Hello is Tonse.
At the intersection of the Yukon and Klondike rivers lies the historic town of Dawson City. It was the center of the Klondike Gold Rush, which began in 1896. Within a few years, many moved on after the gold rush, leaving behind the many artifacts and historical sites that are still widely visited today. Richard and Ashley discover much of the town is closed today, but they hold out hope that they will be able to learn a little about Dawson City's rich history.
Yeah. We just met Mike, who is the fire chief of Dawson City,
Yes.
and he invited us to the museum.
He did. He also has a Tacoma.
Fact.
Is it a Tacoma?
Sure
Yeah,
is.
it's a Tacoma. Sweet.
Fire Chief Red.
As a firm believer in what you do on your days off is just as important as your days on, Mike proudly gives Richard and Ashley a private tour of the Dawson City's Firefighters Museum, even though it's closed today. The Dawson City Fire Station is the oldest station in the Yukon and has some antique steam engines carefully restored from the late 1800s.
Those are the steam chambers. The pistons are here.
Okay.
So it pushes those two pistons up and down, which gives it the water pressure. So water's going in and it's coming out here. All fire hydrants.
He excitedly tells stories about Dawson City and all that had happened here, and also tells how a terrifying house fire claimed the life of his brother-in-law and his 10-year-old nephew. Not wanting anyone else to experience that depth of grief, he started SAFE. Every new baby that goes home with a smoke alarm and other fire prevention and treatment essentials. This program has already helped save many lives, fueling momentum to expand the program to other areas.
And I'm giving it away, so you won't be happy. So it has a window breaker, a seatbelt cutter. It has a light,
Cool.
LED light, and it's got a flint. So if you got to start a fire, flint on it.
Amazing.
And then it's got the blade. So it is good steel. It's military
Nice.
grade steel. So and it does have this little package there, so you can put
Very
it on your
cool.
head.
Thank you very much.
There you go. There's a souvenir from Dawson right there.
Gifts like these are the best souvenirs, and you won't get memories like this if you don't take the time to learn from the locals. Also, don't be afraid to carry small gifts that you can offer others that you come in contact with. It's amazing the kind of doors that can open with a small token of generosity.
So we are at the cabin of Robert W. Service, and he was a poet that wrote about the Klondike Gold Rush and life in the Yukon in general. His two kind of most famous poems are The Cremation of Sam McGee and The Spell of the Yukon, which will give you an idea of what life was like during the Klondike Gold Rush.
Ashley is right. As the poem reads, "There's gold and it's haunting and haunting. It's luring me as of old. Yet it isn't the gold that I'm wanting, so much as just finding the gold. It's the great, big, broad land way up yonder. It's the forest where silence has lease. It's the beauty that thrills me with wonder. It's the stillness that fills me with peace." And of course, a trip to Dawson is not complete without, well, you know, a Sourtoe Cocktail.
In the very early days of the sourdough, back in '73, Captain Dixie was sitting in his buzz. We're doing full pint glasses of champagne with the toe in it, right? So you're getting a throwback here
Amazing.
of how the toe was done in the early days, right?
Yep.
It is a real human toe. They're fragile, they're hard to come by. So no chewing, no sucking, no biting, no putting the toe in. Don't get too frisky with it. Room of glass, give her a stir, and there you go. That's
Cheers.
congratulations. Love it. Suck it back. Again, touch. Okay, no. Just a second. But here we go. Another
In our history at Overland and the travelers going through here, we have never had one officiant be sober. Ours, back in 2013, could barely write our names in the book before falling out of his chair. Dawson City is definitely one of the most unique towns we have ever traveled through. It never disappoints. The next morning, the Yukon temperatures make getting an early start on the Dempster a challenge.
That is as closed as it gets. Struggle is real. Allegedly, the habitat doesn't close at minus 26 Celsius. It's a little too crusty with ice. So we have closed it as much as we can, and I cranked up the Webasto heater inside. We're gonna go stay toasty in the truck and hopefully melt all that ice on the canvas so that we can close it up and leave eventually. Goals. Be serious here. Success!
Woo!
1 out of 4. And you know what time it is? Coffee shop, gas station, Dempster.
The Dempster begins. From here north, you are really on your own. There are few travelers here, and snowstorms regularly close the roads. Solo travelers need to be prepared for whatever may happen on a remote and frozen landscape. The Dempster Highway winds through 736 kilometers of untamed landscape between Dawson City in the Yukon and Inuvik in the Northwest Territories. In 1911, a mail patrol froze to death on a primitive dogsled route when a winter storm caught them mid-trip. A legendary man by the name of William Dempster was hired to find a better route and strengthen the trail. His work in route finding through the early 1900s earned him the highway's namesake and the title of the best trail man in the Yukon.
Oh my god, what is that?
He's coming right at us. Oh, so pretty. I like such a Tacoma. That's awesome. Holy.
This is a cross fox, a variety of red fox known by its black stripes and white-tailed tip. In the winter, they use their binocular vision and acute hearing to locate prey hidden beneath the snow from up to 100 meters within 1 degree of accuracy.
Yep.
Heading into Eagle Plains Lodge. So we'll get some fuel, and then we'll try to find a place to camp.
Yeah.
Correct? I wonder if anything's open in the middle of winter.
I guess we will find out.
Eagle Plains, population 9. Is that real? Is this the gas station? Can't help but notice the highway has
What does that say?
stop signs. Road closed.
The hotel can probably tell us where to get gas and also what the heck is going on.
Perfect. Wasn't expecting that. So what happened there, my love?
Oh, the road is closed.
The Dempster Highway number 8 is closed between Eagle Plains and Fort McPherson due to high winds, blowing snow, and zero visibility. The remainder of the highway
There is no other way forward than this road. With it closed, there is simply nowhere else to go. The Giordano's have hit an impasse.
There are worse places to be stranded. None shall pass.
Well, it sounds like we're in store for a nice warm night of camping. Especially since your eyelashes are frozen at the moment. Hotel is full, so we are camping in the parking lot. Love it.
Enjoying a cold night's sleep and knowingly close to the warm hotel, these two overlanders prove their grit and stubborn commitment to the overlander lifestyle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Is the Dempster Highway Open? The answer? No. No, it is not. Dempster update. Still closed. Alright, as you can see, I'm walking on the highway, so it's still closed. What is this, day 3? Day 4.
Sometimes you just need to be patient. It's a hard thing to do when you're on a limited time schedule and your pace has been high. Coming to a grinding halt can test the mettle in a person.
On this episode of Stranded, we just found out that the road that we came in on is now closed as well.
And
so,
the road that we want to go on, north,
also
is
closed.
also closed.
Due to bad weather and poor road conditions. So it looks like this will be our home for an undetermined amount of time.
Correct.
What you gonna do?
Welcome. Why are we here in the winter? Who came up with this idea? Oh yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Lots of cool stuff up here. Sweet piston bully. I know Kurt loves the snowcats. But also, this ram with the mat tracks. Find something fun there? So I just topped up with fuel for the truck and diesel for the heater in anticipation that at any moment this road will open.
They have finally gotten a break, and a hotel room has opened up, allowing them to do some much-needed road chores.
Welcome to Richard's Laundry Service. We're taking advantage of this hotel stay in beautiful Eagle Plains to catch up on things such as laundry.
We're gonna be here for a while.
Feels like we've been here forever.
I have to say though, like sleeping in a bed and having a shower was so nice.
It is
I felt like
pure
a princess.
luxury.
Yeah, I felt like a princess. That's for sure.
Saying that, we would really appreciate if this road opened.
Yeah, 100%.
It doesn't look as appetizing on camera as it smells.
It doesn't look appetizing, period.
Day 4, Eagle Plains. We're never leaving here. The road between here and Inuvik is closed. And then the road north from there is also closed due to high winds and low visibility.
Yeah, that just happened today.
All the roads,
It's an adventure.
everywhere, closed. It's perfect.
Yeah. Patience, young Padawan.
These are not the roads you're looking for.
They are though.
They are.
After 5 days in Eagle Plains, the weather finally breaks. Temps have dipped and become frigid, but the road may open today anyway.
Is today the day? It's our 5th day here, but the winds have calmed down, the sun's out, hopes are high. I have no other evidence to support the fact that we may leave, but I'm hoping that that guy's gonna open up this gate for us so we can leave. But I don't know. We're just trying to we're just sitting over here doing some interviews. BTS. Start the car!
Start the car!
We got word,
10, 15, 20 minutes.
I think it was 12 minutes ago,
Really?
That's it.
Okay, 12 minutes ago.
that the road is open.
Yes!
So we are out of here. Our home for the last
5 days.
is our home no longer. Our home is the road.
Time to go see something new.
We gotta go before they close the road again.
Which actually happens, so that's like why everybody like packed up everything immediately and just drove out as quickly as possible.
In a way, it was worth waiting for the weather to break. You only get this far north maybe once in your life. And with the sun out, the landscape comes to life.
Where are we, my love?
The Arctic Circle!
What was that? I liked it. We've driven past every single one of these except the Antarctic Circle.
Cool.
That's pretty fun.
We better get back down there. So we're hoping to make it to Fort McPherson tonight, maybe further. We'll see how it goes. But we're super stoked to be back on the road, and yeah. Scenery's changing already. It's interesting.
Look at where we are. Right in front of the Northwest Territories sign, I think. We have made it to the Northwest Territories! We just crossed the Arctic Circle. We're crossing the border into Northwest Territories right now. I'll do it right now. We are crossing our very first river that is frozen.
In the summer, crossing the Peel and McKenzie rivers is only possible with the help of a seasonal ferry. Once winter sets in, the frozen rivers create a natural ice bridge that allows you to drive right across. Though the rest of the day has gone well, finding a landing spot for the night is proving difficult again.
I like the classic, just 10 more kilometers of the spot. Yeah. Or maybe 5 more kilometers with a little pull-out.
Yeah.
No, we're just on a section of the Dempster that doesn't have any pull-outs. And there are no roads that have been plowed that are offshoots. So we drive until we find something.
That is correct.
We're together. I'll put two hands on the wheel instead of holding. We find a little something. You just tuck in the back here.
Yep.
Back in. This looks like a camp spot to me.
It sure does. So here we are at camp once again. Today was actually a super long day. By the time we found a camp spot and we got set up and dumped data, it's now like past midnight. So I think we're both ready for a good night's sleep, and we're super excited to get to Inuvik tomorrow. Pretty close to Inuvik. Should be there in about 35 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And we have a date with a local. His name is Juan, and we got hooked up with him through some overlander friends of ours. And he is from Uruguay. So we're super interested to meet him. Or we can't wait to meet him.
I'm very interested to know how we ended up in Inuvik from Uruguay.
Yeah, super interested. Be good. I hear he's the town baker, so should be pretty
Somebody
fun.
say cheese bread, cinnamon buns. What does he bake?
I don't know.
I'm so hungry. I want some baked goods.
I don't know.
The town of Inuvik sits on a thick layer of permafrost. It's only because the soil remains frozen through all 4 seasons that this town is able to exist.
We made it to Inuvik,
Woohoo!
end of the Dempster, with 130 kilometers to go to Tuck.
Más o menos.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah.
But first we're going to explore Inuvik a little bit.
Absolutely.
See what happens.
Should be good.
Yeah. We
The
made it.
Giordano's are now in the heart of the Canadian Arctic. It's one of the most special places in the world, and their adventure here is just getting started. Join them next time as they take on the unknown on Expedition Overland's solo series.